Hi everyone, and welcome to today's masterclass. This masterclass focuses on sign profiles and InSpec Parallel, two very powerful features by Chef InSpec. Just a quick hello from your host today. I am Adi Shankar, product marketer here at Progress Chef, obsessed with all things tech. And when I'm not knee deep into marketing strategies, you will probably catch me either on a polo field or planning my next trip to discover new places and try local cuisines. Joining me today is Akshay Parvatikar. Hey Akshay, wanna jump in and say hi?
Hey everyone, I'm Akshay, Technical Marketing Manager for Progress Chef. Uh, Apart from work, I love spending time with my daughter, who is 3 years old, and being a big time foodie, trying and experimenting with new cuisines. Thank you.
All right, that was Akshay for you. Now let's take a look at our agenda for today's masterclass. So today we'll discuss how boosting security while staying compliant is a challenge for many organizations. We'll start by looking at some key trends, followed by a high-level overview of two important features, that is sign profile and InSpec Parallel, alongside with the benefits. And in the end, Akshay will, take you over and guide you through a detailed demo. And finally, we'll wrap up this masterclass with your questions. So without further ado, let's get started. So in large organizations with complex infrastructures, maintaining both security and compliance is a constant challenge. It is a big challenge, but it's constant. An IT and security team often spend hours on audits only to find their profiles weren't verified, making it feel like running in circles. And while compliance is crucial, security gaps often get overlooked, leaving teams unable to protect what they actually can't see. And you see, it takes so long that by the time they are done, much of the infrastructure has changed, making it hard to keep up. And you see, attempts to run parallel audits only adds stress as manual processes slow every single thing down. Every unverified profile presents a security risk with itself, and without proper validation, teams are left flying behind. Talk about disappointment. This isn't just a story of one organization, it's a widespread issue, and it spreads across industries from finance to healthcare. Businesses face these same types of challenges again and again. And there are industry trends that show the growing need for a solution that addresses both security and compliance. So, there is a need for automation in compliance and security, and that is becoming essential as organizations face growing complexities. And as we approach 2025, more businesses are shifting towards continuous compliance and security automations to reduce, audit times and mitigate risks. You see, manual testing is increasingly seen as a roadblock, often increasing vulnerabilities. And during these times, DevOps teams that adopt automation experience faster recovery from incidents while maintaining strong compliance and security standard. You see, this particular shift, it leads to fewer compliance failures, quicker audits, and an improved security posture. These trends, they underscore the critical need for automation. And in both compliance and security, there is a critical need for automation. Even the most secure infrastructure can falter without verified compliance and vigilant security testing. And to address these challenges, let's explore the two key features of Chef InSpec, that is sign profile and InSpec Parallel. And you see, amongst many powerful features that Chef InSpec has, sign profile and InSpec Parallel stands out. These tools are literally game changers for organizations looking to enhance security and streamline compliance processes. And in large organizations, when it comes to managing multiple cloud and on-prem environments, IT and security team often face challenges in verifying profiles and conducting audits efficiently. The manual sequential testing of systems basically causes delays, and it makes it difficult to track profiles, which profiles are actually verified and secure. And this is exactly where sign profile comes into picture. This functionality ensures that only trusted and verified profiles are used during audits, eliminating the risk of unauthorized profiles. Meanwhile, what happens with InSpec Parallel is that it allows teams to run compliance checks across multiple systems simultaneously, speeding up the audit processes and enabling faster remediation. And in the next slides, we'll deep dive into each of these features. But for now, remember that Sign Profile and InSpec Parallel directly addresses these challenges. What are those two challenges? Helping verify profiles and accelerating compliance checks. So that was the introduction of these two features. But deep diving into the first one, that is Sign Profile. Sign Profiles, by Chef InSpec, it's a powerful feature, like I already told you. But what makes it powerful is the digital signature that is used to verify profile authenticity, ensuring only trusted and unaltered profiles are executed during compliance checks. And this eliminates the risk of running tampered or unauthorized profiles, providing an essential layer of security for organization. And by enforcing mandatory profile signing, Chef InSpec basically blocks any unauthorized or malicious profiles from running, thereby significantly reducing the security vulnerabilities. And just in case if there is a profile signature that cannot be verified, the scan is immediately halted, preventing any potential threats before they impact the entire system. You see, Sign Profile not only enhances security, but also supports seamless compliance efforts. And by verifying all profiles, organizations ensure alignment with industry standards and regulatory requirements. You see, this not only reduces compliance risks and safeguards critical systems, but it also prevents any sorts of unauthorized accesses. Now let's take a closer look at the key benefits of Sign Profiles and how they can basically transform your organization's security and compliance efforts. You see, Sign Profiles by Chef InSpec, it delivers a lot of benefits. But to start with, there is this profile authenticity, which is guaranteed by ensuring that only trusted digitally signed profiles are executed. This basically gives the team that much required confidence that no tampered or unauthorized profiles will slip through. Unauthorized profiles are blocked from execution, protecting infrastructure from potential threats. And this adds as a reliable layer, you guys, of security to compliance operation. Additionally, compliance security is strengthened by verifying that only authorized profiles are used in the audits. And it basically helps organizations in aligning with regulatory standards and reducing vulnerabilities. And lastly, automatic scan, it basically it blocks and halts any unverified profiles immediately, preventing harmful activity before it affects the critical systems, thereby reducing your operational risks. So talk about efficiency. There you have the automatic scan. All right, so now that we have covered the benefits of Sign Profiles, let's move on to InSpec Parallel. So talking about InSpec Parallel, it enhances the speed and efficiency of compliance scans by allowing multiple profiles to be executed across multiple targets simultaneously. And unlike traditional sequential audits, InSpec Parallel basically speeds up the processes, enabling teams to manage large infrastructures without sacrificing performance. It also provides real-time insights showing the percentage of completion for each target, which basically helps each teams track their own progress and make faster and informed decision at the end of the day. And whether it's ensuring that all systems are audited efficiently or monitoring performances, this feature equips your teams with the data that you guys need to act quickly. And for organizations with complex environments, the ability to run concurrent scan means quicker detection of issues and faster resolution of compliance gaps. This is the must required transparency and speed that basically requires, it basically helps optimize the compliance operation and prevents unnecessary delays. And in the next slide, we'll deep dive into the key benefits of InSpec Parallel. So talking about benefits of InSpec Parallel, right? One of its main advantages is faster compliance audits by running multiple scans at once, thereby reducing the time needed to complete the audits, especially in large-scale infrastructures. The second one is improving efficiency. That's another key benefit. So what happens over here is that InSpec Parallel makes better use of resources by scanning multiple targets concurrently, minimizing bottlenecks, and reducing downtime without disrupting your overall business operation. Then there is the most important thing, that is real-time visibility. And this feature basically allows teams to monitor audit progress and completion, thereby giving real-time insights. And this transparency, it basically helps address any potential issues promptly. So the last one, that is enabling faster scans and immediate results. What happens over here is that InSpec Parallel helps reduce your operational delays, by ensuring compliance gaps are quickly identified and resolved without interrupting any sort of operations. And to help you get started with these sign profiles and InSpec Parallel in Chef InSpec, Akshay will walk you through the demo. Over to you, Akshay.
Thanks a lot, Adi. Okay, let me minimize this. Let me open up my terminals. Great. As Adi mentioned, right, InSpec Parallel can automatically manage multiple profile execution in parallel on a system targeting several remote execution and environments. So as a prerequisites, what I have is I have installed packages on a few machines. So on few machines, for example, I have, let me open up my AWS. So based on your requirements and conditions, you can run your machines on cloud, on-prem, or in any hybrid environment. But for this demo, I have 3 machines running on AWS cloud, which is Debian, RHEL, and Ubuntu. Right. The machine InSpec here is where I'll be executing my InSpec command against. Now, as a prerequisites, I have installed packages on few of the machines. Let me open up the terminal again. For example, I have installed Nginx on all the 3 of them with different versions. For example, I have installed 1.22 on Debian, 1.20 on RHEL, and 1.24 on Ubuntu. The same goes with Git, but with a slight difference. So if you see, the Git has not been installed on Debian, but has been installed on RHEL and Ubuntu with, again, different version, 2.43.5 and 2.43. The last is the file system. If you see, the file system is not been there with respect to Debian as well as RHEL, but the file system is present on the Ubuntu machine. This is where my file test.txt is present. The same, I have replicated that in my profiles. I have 3 separate profiles known as Debian, RHEL, and Ubuntu. Let me go inside each one of them and give you more details of it. So if you can see, it's very simple. 3 in one single profile, 3 separate controls. The first control is basically to check whether the Nginx has been installed with that particular version, the Git with that version, and the file system. Now, based on this system, we know that only the first condition will pass, the remaining 2 will fail, because the Nginx has been installed and Git and file system is not been present. Going to RHEL and controls. Sorry. The same type of control files, but here for this particular machine, the RHEL machine, we know that the first condition and the second condition will pass, sorry, control will pass, which is Nginx and Git, but the third control will fail because we don't have that file test.txt. Let's go back by one more and let's go to last machine. Here again, the same Nginx, Git, and the file system, but for this, all the 3 controls will be success because we have Nginx installed, Git installed, as well as the file test.txt is present. So let me clear this off. But how can we run all 3 scans at the same time? Where are all these machine details present? Now this can be found in a text file known as option.txt. You can give this any name you want, or you can even give it as akshay.txt. That doesn't matter. but let me open that file for you. So it basically gives you the details of how you can connect to that machine and run the scan against. So this is my FQDN of that machine. This is my PEM file, which will be used to connect to that, and where will that output will be logged into. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a directory by name logs, and the result will be logged into debian.out. The same goes with Ubuntu. The result will be logged in a text file known as ubuntu.out. The same goes with rel. Now, how do I run it? One single command, the same command which you guys use to run inspec always, which is inspec exec. The only small difference is we need to include the word parallel. Inspec parallel exec, the default profile name which you want to run, -o option.txt, meaning you're passing an option.txt file to run against the inspec parallel scan on. -j3 means you're running 3 instances of the job at the same time, I mean in parallel. Let's just give it a second. If you can see, the 3 of them are running at simultaneously. Done, done, and done. It was just done in what? 3 seconds, 5 seconds max. So we have a logs files now here. Let's go inside that log. Let's go inside that log folder, and we see that we have 3 log files and 3 output files. Let's look at one of all 3 output files. As we discussed, the first control is passed, the remaining 2 have failed. Checking for rel, 2 have been passed, 2 successful control, 1 failed control. Let me clear the screen and cat Ubuntu. All 3 have been successfully passed. Right? That's how you can run inspec parallel and get the result in a very fast way. Looking at the logs, let's look at one of the logs. It basically gives you the start time of the logs, what time did it start, what time did it end, what was the key used, all those details. So this is my start time, when was it started, when was this ended, what is the key used, where was this file logged, all those details can be found under the logs. Now, if you encounter some kind of error during this, which we'll see in our next inspect sign profile, where we'll have some error file here, you will have something known as the same PID, the process ID, with .err, saying that there's some error which you guys faced when running an inspect parallel scan. Right? That's with respect to inspect parallel. Pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty effective. Right. The next topic which we'll examine is inspect sign. I'll be using the same setup I use for parallel, but there are few changes. There are some few prerequisites which you have to do to enable inspect sign. The very first step is setting a mandatory variable. Okay, let me go inside profile. Sorry. Setting up a mandatory variable which is chef preview mandatory profile signing. When you enable this variable, right, you are basically telling the system execute the profile only if they are signed. If they are not signed, the system will basically throw an error. What error? We'll see that. So let's check whether the profile has been, the mandatory variable has been set. Yes, the mandatory variable has been set here. Clearing the screen again. Now let's execute one unsigned profile. How do you do that? Let me copy it from here. So what I'm doing is I'm executing an same profile which I executed on Ubuntu machine with all my details. So what do you think will happen? This will basically throw an error. Right? This is the error which we saw, saying that it's expecting a signed profile. Right? But there might be some your corner cases where even if you're setting a mandatory variable, you need to pass the unsigned profile as well, for, let's say, for testing purpose. And for that, you can't disable your mandatory profile. So for that, we have a workaround for that as well. You just need to enter this flag at the end of your command, which will basically tell the system saying that even if it's unsigned, run it. We can say it later on. Right? So after passing this flag, we are seeing that we are seeing the required output. But what happens if we don't run it with the error? the same error. So how do you work with this? How do you sign the profile? So to sign a profile, basically you need to generate a key for it. To do that, we have a command known as inspect sign generate keys key name log profile. I'm using log profile as my key name, but again, based on your requirements, based on your scenarios, you can give any name you want. So we are creating a key, and this key will be used to basically sign up profile. So this key has been generated and stored in our .inspect directory. Let me go inside that and check. Sorry. If you can see, we have two files generated. This file will be used to sign our profile. Now going back to my profile directory again. So I have three profiles, Debian, RHEL, and Ubuntu. Let's sign one of them with our keys generated. So for that, the command is inspect sign profile name, and the key file which we generated just now. So the output of this command is basically an IAF file which will be generated and stored in the same directory. You can store it in a different directory, but for this demo purpose, I'm storing it here itself. So this is the output of that, and this file itself is not a human readable because this is not human readable because it's in encoded format. But if you want to see, or if you want to view the content on how or what are the details of that uh, profile, or what are the details of that control, you can do that with the help of export command. Inspect export in the Debian, the same IIF file which you just generated. So here we can see the details of all the control files, all the three controls, and the details of inspect.yaml file as well. That's how you view the content, because the IIF file is not human readable. To see or to verify which key was used to sign your profile, you can do that as well with the command inspect sign verify. This command basically tells us which key was used to sign that profile.
Hi Akshay,
So
sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
We have 5 minutes left.
Thank you, Michaela. Yes.
Okay.
So yes, so the log profile is the key which we used to sign this particular profile. Right now, let's execute that IIF file. For that, let's bring in this command. Again, we'll be using the same command, inspect exec, that IIF file which we just used, and my details, my FQDN details, and my PEM file details. So I'm executing Debian. So that means this particular machine, so where we have only Nginx installed without the get and the file system. That's how you execute a signed profile. Now let's let's run the inspect scan. One second, where I need to show you one final thing is how do you run an inspect scan. But just passing here the IIF profile. So what will happen here now is only one condition will pass because we are passing only one IIF file, but the two will fail, which is RHEL and Ubuntu. Going back to my logs, you will see two error files, which is this error file and this error file. Going to one of them, the error file will basically say that it's expecting a sign profile, which is for RHEL and Ubuntu. Right? That's how inspect parallel and inspect sign work together, creating a authenticity and execution path, which will basically bring down your remediation, which will basically fasten your remediation and audit scan, take it considering thousands of nodes working together. Thank you. Let me check if we have any questions there. Adi, do we have any questions? Just a second.
Right. I can see one question over here. So it asks that what happens if we execute only one job with InSpec Parallel?
Okay. So what? Again, as the name suggests, the parallel is executing multiple job instance at the same time. One in the sense like you're just running one instance at one given point of time. So all the three jobs will be executed, all the three scans will be executed, but one at a time. So if you give -J1, which is similar to this, let me. So if you do something like this -J1, which means that all the three jobs will be executed, but one at a time. If you use 3, all the 3 job instances will be executed in parallel. That's how it works.
Great. And there's one more question, and I think I can take this up. It says, do we have unified reports option for Parallel? No, I don't think so. As of today, there are no separate reports created for each one, but something to look forward to. Let's see. There is one more question, Akshay. It says, how can I turn off mandatory profile signing once enabled? Okay.
Okay. You can turn off mandatory profile signing by passing the flag which I just showed you, -allow, if you're using it on very rare case scenarios. But if you want to turn off overall, you can do that by passing chef allow, which will be something like this. So clear export chef allow unsigned profile is equal to 1. So when you do this, you're basically saying that allow all the unsigned profiles to be executed. That's how you turn off the mandatory profile signing.
Awesome. And I think there's just one last question. It asks, do we have signed premium content available in Chef? No, not now, not as of today. But again, let's see.
This
All
is
right.
something which is in planning stage. We will have a better update in near future.
Great. All right, guys. I think that's about it for our Q&A session. But just in case, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us over LinkedIn or through our mail IDs, whatever works for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.